On the night of May 23, 2014, the surrounding area of the University of California, Santa Barbara, and its students suffered multiple attacks coordinated by one man, Elliot Rodger, leaving 6 people dead and 14 people injured. As the mastermind behind these attacks, the mentally ill Rodger premeditated this massacre months, even years before carrying out his actions. Today we will be taking a retrospective on Elliot's upbringing, ideologies, and impact he had on modern internet culture. Originally born in London, England on July 24th of 1991, Rodger's family moved to Woodland Hills, California around 1996 due to his father's career directing in film. A few years after moving stateside, his parents would divorce. This life-altering event would plant the seeds to Elliot's further social views. Due to his father remarrying quickly in his eyes, he would start to view women more as a status symbol rather than their own person. During this time bouncing between households, Elliot would clash often with his stepmother and heavily favor his mother in return. Growing up, Rodger's parents noticed his inability to socially interact with his fellow peers. His mother would claim in 1999 that Elliot was a high-functioning autistic child. Elliot's father would later have a doctor discredit this autism diagnosis by his mother, as he struggled with social interactions throughout most of his early life. By his teenage years, in 2007, he was diagnosed with pervasive development disorder not otherwise specified. PDD-NOS is defined as mild or severe pervasive deficits in the development of reciprocal social interaction and or verbal and nonverbal communication skills, or when stereotype behavior, interest, and or activities are present, but the criteria are not met for a specific PDD. As of 2013, PDD-NOS is now a part of the autism spectrum. In his teenage years, Rodger would be on a variety of antidepressants and anxiety medications such as Xanax, Prozac, and Paxil. Elliot would later stop taking all of these medications due to various reasons claimed by himself. By early adulthood, Elliot was rejecting his prescribed medication and refusing any mental health treatment. After being kicked out of his father's home for constant fighting with his stepmother, Elliot moved back with his mother to start his college years. Elliot's major focus would shift into gear as adulthood started. His quest for love began. As Rodger bounced around colleges within Southern California, he had one hope in mind: to find himself a partner, specifically a blonde woman. This is where Elliot's misogynistic and racist views blossomed into extremism. Moving to the local community of Isla Vista in 2011, Rodger's dark descent began. Moving into the Capri apartments in Isla Vista, Rodger would start to become a menace to his local community and roommates alike. Elliot's views can be summed up in one specific interaction that happened during this time living in the Capri's apartments. He was angered when one of the roommate's black friends said that he had lost his virginity at the age of 13. Rodger retreated into his room in tears and called his mother, expressing his frustration over the attention black men received from blonde women instead of him. His racial tirades began in his own apartment, where he shared an apartment with 2 Hispanic roommates, constantly hurling racial slurs at them and claiming superiority over them. Being a virgin into his adulthood, Elliot became envious and enraged of local community members having relationships with blonde women. Within the next year, multiple instances of Rodger's outbursts plagued the surrounding area of Isla Vista. In 2011, during a visit to Starbucks, Rodger saw a couple kissing. Enraged at this, he followed them outside and threw his coffee at the couple. Later that same month, Rodger noticed a couple kissing at a food court and later splashed them with his iced tea. In January of 2012, while driving past the bus stop, Rodger attempted to engage two blonde women by smiling. When they did not return the smile, he turned his car around and splashed them with his latte. In July of 2012, while walking alone in a park, he saw college students playing kickball. Rodger was overwhelmed with envy when seeing blonde women interacting with the men. He purchased a super soaker and filled it with orange juice. He returned to the park, yelled at the students, and then sprayed them. Unfortunately, these events were only the beginning of Elliot's madness. In December of 2012, Rodger would purchase his first firearm, a Glock 34 long slide semi-automatic pistol in the nearby town of Goleta, California. He would later purchase another pistol, a Sig Sauer P226, further south in Burbank, California. Due to his ever-growing frustration without having a sexual partner and his disgust towards minorities, Elliot began to plan his day of retribution, an attack on the city of Isla Vista. Originally slated for Halloween to November of 2013, an incident where during a drunken racial tirade at a house party in July of that year, Rodger fractured his ankle. This caused him to postpone his plans as he recovered at his mother's home. During this time in his life, from the end of 2012 into late 2013, Elliot would attend therapy sessions as his parents continued to attempt to get him help as his mental state worsened. He was prescribed the antipsychotic risperidone by the psychiatrist he was seeing. Just like his previous medications that were prescribed to him, Rodger once again refused to take this antipsychotic. At his parents' behest, Rodger also began seeing a life coach to help with his societal struggles. During this time recovering at home, his mother would purchase him a 2008 BMW 328i. This car was one of Elliot's last hopes of him increasing his chances to court a woman. Elliot would later use this BMW in the attacks he committed on May of the following year. Before entering 2014, the final year of Rodger's life, it is important to look at Elliot's internet presence at the time of his mental descent. Rodger had two main YouTube channels, his main one simply titled Elliot Rodger, and another one named Valtharion. In Elliot's self-titled channel, this was a forum for him to rant and rave about being a social outcast and express his misogynistic views. Looking deeper into his channel, Rodger had been found to be subscribed to channels that sought out to give advice on courting women. In the other channel mentioned, Valtharion, Rodger would use his channel to express his displeasure of society and YouTube by leaving derogatory and racist comments upon various channels. Outside of his YouTube presence, Elliot would dive into the internet culture now coined as the manosphere. The manosphere is a varied collection of websites, blogs, and online forums promoting masculinity, misogyny, and opposition to feminism. Rodger would take a particular attachment to a sub-community within the manosphere known as incels. Incels are men who define themselves as unable to find a romantic or sexual partner despite the desire for one. Rodger would share his racist and misogynistic views on these forums amongst others who dwelled the manosphere. Upon sharing his experience diving into this subculture, his father would confront him and discourage him upon this behavior. The final year of Elliot's life began troublesome with a fight in January of that year that led to Rodger calling the cops on his new roommates, James Hong and David Wang, who moved in September of 2013. Hong was ultimately arrested during the altercation doing the petty theft of Elliot's 3 candles. This totaled a value of $22. Hong and Wang would distance themselves from Rodger's antics and would plan to move apartments once their lease was up in the spring semester of 2014. Elliot would later state his intention to murder said roommates in his manifesto. Leading up to the attack, Elliot would start to begin writing his manifesto. Titled My Twisted World, this 137-page manifesto would detail his life experiences, personal frustrations, and violent intentions towards women and others he perceived as socially superior. By this time in January, Rodger would set a day of retribution, that being April 26, to ensure enough preparation time and lack of heightened police presence unlike holiday weekend. During the following month, in February of 2014, Rodger would buy another Sig Sauer P226 handgun in Oxnard, California, similar to the one that he purchased the previous year in Burbank. It was around the next few months Elliot would visit gun ranges and purchase ammunition for his inevitable attack. By April of 2014, Elliot had been continuing to post to his YouTube content to his self-titled channel, discussing his struggles and sharing his thoughts on the world. In the same month, he had visited 2 more gun ranges in preparation of his attack. In this same month, Rodger fell sick and postponed his plan of attacks until May 24th instead of the original April 26th date, giving him more time to recover and also more time to live his life. Isolating himself from the world, Rodger's mother grew increasingly concerned with her son's behavior and posts on his social media platforms. She attempted to contact him with no success. Reaching out to Elliot's life coach, he was able to contact the crisis hotline to request a welfare check on Rodger. 4 sheriff's deputies, a university police officer, and a dispatcher in training all responded to the welfare check on Elliot. Rodger was able to calm the concerns by local law enforcement by stating his videos were a form of expression and had no intent to hurt anyone or himself. After calling his mother in front of deputies, they would leave the premises. Due to law enforcement not entering his residence or researching Elliot's internet presence, they did not deem him an immediate risk to others. Deputies on scene determined Rodger did not meet the criteria for an involuntary hold. If local authorities had searched his apartment on this day, they would have uncovered his firearms and manifesto and prevented the gruesome attack soon to come. Elliot would later delete a plethora of videos on his channel in order to calm suspicion, planning to re-upload said videos at a later date. Elliot decided to carry out his attack a day earlier than his original date on May 23rd of 2014. Elliot's day of retribution began in his apartment, armed with a 6-inch SRK knife and 8-inch hunting knife. Rodger first murdered David Wang via stabbing, leaving him with 15 stab wounds and 23 slashes across his body. After murdering Wang, upon the return of James Hong, he ambushed him, leaving Hong with 25 stab wounds and 12 slashes. After gathering his first 2 victims, a friend of their roommates, George Chen, was completing a routine visit to the pair's residence. Elliot ambushed him as well, leaving him with 94 stab wounds and 11 slashes across his body. Taking an intermission from his massacre, Elliot would email his manifesto to 34 people and repost the videos he had taken down previously and add 1 more video. The now infamous video known as Elliot Rodger's Retribution. Rodger spouts his usual grievances on social situations and let known his intention to punish women and sexually active men. Later that night, Rodger attempted to enter the Alpha Phi sorority house, being unsuccessful. He then set his sights to another target. Seeing 3 women from the members of another sorority in the neighboring area, Elliot pulled up and opened fire on them. In this process, he would kill Veronica Weiss and Catherine Cooper. The other woman was severely injured in the shooting. Rodger's final murder victim came driving past a deli where he shot inside and killed Christopher Michaels Martinez with a gunshot wound to the chest. Rodger's rampage would continue as he would injure 14 people, 7 by gunshot and 7 by striking them with his BMW previously mentioned. After exchanging gunfire with police 2 times, he had obtained a gunshot wound to the hip. After this, he crashed his car, where Elliot would shoot himself in the head, ending the massacre. The story of Elliot Rodger does not stop after his death. Bringing the incel subculture to the mainstream, the subculture views him as a martyr and celebrates his actions. A Facebook page was even made titled "Elliot Rodger is an American Hero," sharing the infamous Retribution video with a groundswell of support. Facebook would later remove pages such as these for violation of their statement of rights and responsibilities. Searching Elliot Rodgers on platforms such as Reddit and even looking through YouTube comments will show members of the internet expressing gratitude and even empathy for the deranged Rodger. Elliot inspired others to partake in similar violent crimes such as himself. The 2015 Umpqua Community College shooting, the 2018 Toronto van attack, and the 2021 Plymouth shooting all drew inspiration from the proclaimed King of the Incels. Over a decade later, and Elliot Rodger's brutal actions are a testament to show that without proper help and medication and refusal, you can truly live in a twisted world.